Yes, boss. Let's do it, man. Make sure you're living your life with no regrets. Or call it, how to avoid dealing with regrets. You got to understand this, right? This is the first step. Understand that in life, when you make the best choices, that's what helps you avoid dealing with regret. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying we're always going to have all the answers or know the recipe for the to get to the result, or you get what I'm saying? But just know that in life, if you're trying your hardest or you're trying to do things the right way or the best way possible, you can never really have regrets. You get what I'm saying? Sure, we're going to make mistakes because nobody's perfect, but if you know you're trying your hardest, you can never really have like regrets like that. And even if you have made mistakes, you just have to understand that mistakes are something that you can learn from. You just can't like let your mistakes become like something that you become like a prison of. You get what I'm saying? Whether you made bad choices in your younger years, or you might have not gotten the things that you wanted. You might have done something in an ill-advised way. As long as you can take the lesson from what it is that you did and try your hardest to not make those same mistakes, all should be well with you. You know what I'm saying? So here's the deal. Right next to trying to understand, what it takes to make the best decisions, which is like, just being conscious or living in the now. Always seeking knowledge and understanding, it always really helps as well. So I'll give you an example into that, right? You know how sometimes in life we can make certain choices and we don't fully think it through? Like, let's say you did something dumb, or it doesn't have to be necessarily something bad, but you did something dumb and you may not realize what the end result could actually breed from that. If you kind of think about your actions before you actually act on them, or think about something before you actually do it, then you can actually help yourself make a better choice. You feel me? Give you an example into that, right? I was just watching something the other day where somebody said like, they were wild and reckless when they were young, they were incarcerated. And he said, when I really think about it, when I got older, the man said, if I would have really thought about the things that I was doing and really understood like what comes with the armed robbery, or what comes with this, like what it could come with like 10 years or 20 years, that would have helped me make my decisions a little bit better. You get what I'm saying? Because there are some people who do things and they only see what they can obtain, but they don't see what it could cause. You get what I'm saying? You wanting to be bad, or you making a reckless decision, or you doing something without fully thinking it through, how it may affect you and other people around you. So example, let's say you're a person who you have regret because, let's say in a relationship or a friendship, you probably did somebody dirty, or you never treated them correctly, right? I'm not saying that there's not a tomorrow that some things can't be fixed. Some can and some can't. But the importance is trying to take the lesson and understand where it is that you went wrong. Especially if you know that, let's say you never had the intention of harming somebody or doing somebody dirty. If you know that you never had the intention, you can't really chalk it up like, oh, I'm gonna be a prisoner of my thoughts or my past choices. I'm mad at myself for that. No, don't be mad at that. What I'm saying is learn to be aware, be in the now. You feel me? If you made a mistake before, see how you can capitalize and not make that mistake again. Because whether you believe it or not, even though some things can't be fixed, there are some things that when time goes on, time can heal, as I said, time can reveal. But in order for you to avoid living in regret, seeking understanding, and as well as this, giving yourself some form of leniency. Now, if you're not giving yourself leniency, that means you're just straight up being harsh with yourself. And that's completely fine. That's normal. We're humans. We're not perfect. But what I'm saying is this. If you know you did something to a person and there's a way that you can right your wrong, do that. That will probably take the edge off of how you feel. But if you know you did something intentional, whether to shortstop somebody, harm them, hinder, whatever the case may be, and it was intentional, let's say it worked out for you or it didn't, that's just something you have to sit down and look at within yourself as to why you did that. And as well as that, right? There are some people who have regret because they know that the things that they did, probably a person never deserved it. Or let's say you probably were being like crucial, or you're being harsh towards a person. That's how some people can become a prisoner of their own thoughts and live even more within their regret. But what I'm saying to you is this, right? Today, tomorrow, whatever the case may be, as long as you're trying to start over and do what's right, that's like the first step in making like a better decision or having a brighter tomorrow. You feel me? Because you living in the darkness, or you living in the past of your thoughts, or whatever it is that you did. You crossed somebody, you robbed somebody, you harmed somebody. I don't know what the hell that was. Whatever the case may be, right? If you're knowing that, yo, what I did, that was yesterday, I'm going to try and fix that, or I ask God for forgiveness, so I'm working towards something better. That's a better start. You feel me? You continuing down that path, that's a different story. It's like saying, yo, you don't regret what you did. It's like you're accustomed to certain things. You're just going to continue it going, or continue the game that you've been playing. Whether it be cheating, harming people, using people, screwing people over, manipulating, whatever the case may be. There's different ways how people can have regret. But what I'm saying is this. As long as you're working towards trying to make that change, you can never really say you can live with that regret. You feel me? And as well as that, not only trying to make that change, but choosing to do better. Even when you feel like, yo, I'm lost or I don't know where I'm going. A higher power sees when you're trying, dog. You feel me? It's just like, look at football, right? Let's say a person decides to miss a tackle, or I didn't tackle this guy. The coach can see if you showed effort. You get what I'm saying? Same way with like God. God can see if you're showing effort to try, or if you really want to make a change, or if you want another opportunity or another chance. You get what I'm saying? Nothing beats a trying heart, and people can see that. But you choosing to live in regret, that's like saying there's no brighter days that's going to come. You feel me? As I stated, some things can't be fixed. I get that. That can cause people to stay in that regret. But what I'm saying is trying, nothing beats trying, dog. You praying, or you asking God for a second chance, or you asking God to show you a sign, or allowing you to do better, allowing you to push forward so you can make right, or do what's right. God can see that. God can hear you. But what I'm saying is there's a lot of things that you can do to avoid living in regret. You feel me? Another one of that, right? Besides focusing on the present. Where the hell is it? Boom, here it is. Try and understand, why is it that you feel that regret? I kind of touched on it lightly, but let's say you did something to somebody, right? And you genuinely feel remorse. That's going to move you to want to either do right or see how you can mend the situation. If you know that the situation is like completely in shambles, that's not something that can be fixed. It's just best to just leave the situation right where it is. Pray about it. See what you can do. Ask God for forgiveness. But what I'm saying is this. Once you understand why you have regret or why you feel a certain way, you have the actual ability to know how to move forward, if you get where I'm going with this. It's just like, let's say, yo, I play basketball, or I'm weak at this skill, whether it may be dribbling or carrying the ball up the court. You know what's your weakness. So therefore, if you know what your weakness is or where you're wrong at, you can know how to go ahead and fix it, rather than you not being aware of what the problem is and somebody having to tell you or somebody having to show you. Even though that sometimes, not saying it could be a bad thing about that, but what I'm saying is, if you're trying to seek where you're wrong at, or trying to find another way, or trying to seek a tomorrow or a brighter day, it will come. It may be hard. You might be deep in the dark tunnel or whatever the case may be, but as long as you're trying, that will come. You feel me? And here's another thing about regret as well, right? I'm not saying regret isn't something that you can't live with forever, but trying your hardest to make the best choices and do right helps you to avoid that regret. You get what I'm saying? Let's say, give you another example, because this is very common. I'm going to give you nothing but common stuff, bro. Let's say there's a person who likes to do reckless and live in the streets, and somebody who likes to do right. You feel me? If you've been living reckless and you don't have a purpose or a meaning for why you're doing it either for show or to impress other people, that can cause you to live with regret. You get what I'm saying? Especially if you've been carrying on this behavior from young into adulthood. That's just going to cause you to crash and not grow in life. You feel me? versus somebody who, yo, I've been making good decisions, or I don't see where this has gotten me. You may not see what your good choices have gotten you, but over time, if you take a step back and see what you've done, you can see the changes or where it's led you. Versus a person who's made reckless decisions, where has it led you? Either to jail, prison, beefs with people, on and off fallouts with people. You get what I'm saying? Your choices in life will breed for you your results. You feel me? It's like that famous saying, you reap what you sow. So if you're planting good seeds, what are you going to get back? Good results. If you're planting bad seeds, what are you going to get back? Bad results. It's just like a person who plays goofy games and expects to win the glorious prize. You're going to win the goofiest prize of the year. It's like what you put in is what you get out. You get what I'm saying? If you put out negativity, you're going to get that back. But the way how to avoid regret is to make better decisions. You get what I'm saying? And nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. I've made a lot of mistakes in life, dog. A lot of mistakes. And I pray for those mistakes. But the biggest thing that I could say is I don't really have a lot of regrets in life. You feel me? Because I pretty much did a lot of what it is that I wanted to do, and it's more that I want to do as time goes on. But living in, like, trying to live in the now, make good choices, trying to fight for a brighter day or another tomorrow, that's how you help avoid living in regret. Also doing right by people, being conscious, be aware, not being selfish. You get what I'm saying? Not trying to manipulate people. Doing things that you know that's right. You know that you're on the right path. You get what I'm saying? That's how you can avoid dealing with regret. So with that being said, remember this, man. Words can help you. They can hurt you. But here on my channel, I use them to uplift you because everybody's a champion. Nobody's a loser, man. 444 the world. Just remember that as long as you're trying to make good choices, you'll get good results. You feel me? You don't have to be a victim or a prisoner of your negative thoughts of the past choices you made and all of that. Just fight towards making better choices and you'll make better decisions, or you'll get better decisions, man. 444 the world. Peace.